Hello, I'm Anthony Larson. In the next few minutes we're going to explore some fascinating ideas in Scripture that you may not have noticed before, although they've always been there. It promises to be a journey of discovery and insight, so prepare yourself for what scientists call a paradigm shift. That's roughly a change of opinion. You're about to see history and prophecy as you've never seen them before. One of the strangest events recorded in Scripture is found in the Old Testament book of Joshua, and it's called, appropriately, the Long Day of Joshua. Occasionally we all have long days that never seem to end, but Joshua's really was long, almost a whole extra day long. How, you say? Well, first, let's get a better perspective of Joshua's time by looking back in Hebrew history. The Exodus was over, and so was Israel's 40-year wandering in the desert. The mantle of leadership passed to Joshua, and Moses was taken from among them. With Joshua as their new leader, Israel was now conquering the Promised Land. In the book of Joshua, chapter 10, we get to the heart of it. Here we read of a battle between Joshua's army and the Amorites. This engagement would have been no different than any other if it were not for a rather peculiar request that Joshua made of God. Verse 12 reads, "Then spake Joshua to the Lord, and he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day." Needless to say, if events occurred as recorded here in the Old Testament, then something happened that you and I don't see every day. But exactly what did happen has puzzled people for thousands of years. Much speculation surrounds these few verses because the implied possibility that the earth stopped turning is utterly unthinkable to most people. They believe it must have been an illusion. Scientists like the popular astronomer Carl Sagan tell us that if the earth suddenly stopped turning, cars, houses, trees, and of course people would suddenly go flying off into space. The earth would simply be torn apart. So we look for alternatives. Perhaps they saw an eclipse, or maybe a bright passing comet simply looked like the sun. Maybe it was some rare atmospheric phenomenon, or perhaps the light from a distant nova arrived at the earth at just that moment. Whatever it was, something other than what Joshua thought happened, happened. But that leaves us in a bit of a quandary, doesn't it? On the one hand, we're taught to believe that a prophet cannot lie, even a lesser one like Joshua. So the earth must have stopped turning, right? Well, on the other hand, our enlightened scientific understanding and our logical, rational minds tell us that such a thing cannot happen without utterly destroying the earth. So what are we to believe? Well, the usual response to this dilemma is to speculate, as we just did, about what phenomena might have created the illusion that the earth stopped turning. Or we might simply note that the prophet Joseph Smith declared the Old Testament to be full of translation errors, and this must surely be one of them. So what do we believe? Did the earth really stop rotating for several hours, as Joshua wrote? Or was it some other natural phenomenon that only made it look that way? Or is the account itself corrupted? Well, just when we backed ourselves into a corner, along comes the cavalry. In this case, the Book of Mormon. As with so many other questions, this book holds the answer to the mystery of Joshua's long day. But first let me ask, do you believe this book is correct? Does it contain any falsehoods? The truth is, no good Latter-day Saint can say that the Book of Mormon is flawed. The Lord has even declared in modern revelation, "As your Lord and your God liveth, it is true." Joseph Smith said that it's the most correct book, so we must accept what's written in the Book of Mormon. Keeping all that in mind, let's turn to Helaman chapter 12, verses 8 through 17. It's here that Mormon describes and explains plainly what must have happened in the days of Joshua. For behold, the dust of the earth moveth hither and thither to the dividing asunder at the command of our great and everlasting God. The hills and the mountains tremble and quake. They are broken up and become smooth, yea, even like unto a valley. Yea, by the power of his voice doth the whole earth shake. The foundations rock even to the very center. Yea, and if he say unto the earth, Move, it is moved. Now pay close attention to this. Yea, if he say unto the earth, Thou shalt go back, that it lengthen out the day for many hours, it is done. And thus, according to his word, the earth goeth back. And it appeareth unto man that the sun standeth still. Yea, and behold, this is so. For surely it is the earth that moveth, and not the sun. This is the finest, plainest astrophysical dissertation in all of Scripture. As Nephite prophets were wont to do, Mormon spoke plainly. There is no metaphor here, no symbolism, nor is it a theoretical construct. It is a straightforward declaration of the facts. So what does it tell us? That the long day of Joshua happened, just as Joshua told it. The Earth's rotation can be halted and apparently restarted without destroying everything. Strange turn of events, right? Mind you, here's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. What do you think of this? Can you accept that such things can occur? Or are there still doubts? As one who has an unshakable witness of the restored gospel and the calling of the prophet Joseph Smith, I tell you that a primary message of the gospel and the prophets is that such things do occur.